Hello and welcome to the Wake Up Podcast. This is Sincerely Creators. We are back. I'm Ben Kaysen here with Brooks Forsythe. What are you doing, Brooks?
Not a whole lot. Just editing videos there.
Oh, yeah. Brooks is the poor soul that's on the other end of a lot of my podcast editing, so he has to listen to my voice a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's how they broke me in. I went to sleep dreaming about Ben's voice for a while.
That's tough. Man, that's tough. So Brooks is one of our videographers. He's got a background in video. He's been doing it for a while. Give me just a little rundown, Brooks. What got you into video? What were your first projects?
What really got me into video was fighting bulls. Pretty much like everything else my life revolves around.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gets good video bullfighters. So like I'd have somebody use their phone and record, but they always stop the recording as soon as the bull rider hits the ground. The whole point of bullfighters being there is to go save him. So I never got to see video of me actually doing my job. I just got to see bull riders falling off all the time. And so I decided I'd start with like a GoPro. So I tried putting a GoPro on my chest and that didn't work. Put it on my head, didn't work. So then I was like, well, I guess I need to get a decent camera and just post it up to the side or something for a while. Yeah. So that's how it started.
Perfect. So you're the perfect guy for this show today for Sincerely Creators. We're talking about how do you get good action shots. And so I've seen a lot of your video of, you bull riding, bullfighting, all of that. And it's incredible action shots. You can see the bull, you can see you can see everything going on.
Yeah.
Take me through, so what are some of the tips? If somebody's trying to catch maybe sports or something that's really fast, how do you get good video in those situations?
I think a good starting place is just knowing the sport that you're videoing, whether that's fighting bulls or skateboarding or football, baseball, whatever it is. You've got to know exactly what's going on and where everything's going to happen so that you can be in the right place at the right time. So it's all about being like engulfed in whatever sport it is that you're videoing. Yeah. So for me, like fighting bulls, I just stick a camera on a gimbal and take it in there with me when I'm fighting bulls, which is not the smartest thing to do financially.
But camera with you while you're fighting bulls.
Yeah, I'd keep a camera in one hand and bull's head in the other, and just shoot it on like a super wide lens because I couldn't focus a lens and zoom a lens, you know what I mean? So I'd put it on something super wide and run in there. Same thing with like skateboarding. If you're videoing skateboarding, you got to be like right in there doing what it is that they're doing. Gotcha. So you can't video a skateboarder if you can't keep up with him. So you got to be able to kind of skateboard yourself. Stuff like football or baseball would be more like just knowing where the play's going so that you can point your camera in that direction, being able to read the situation just like they do. Otherwise, you're just kind of shooting fish in a barrel and hoping something hits.
Shooting fish in a barrel, man. So that's just such a funny visual. You've got your camera in one hand and you're trying to fight the bull with the other hand. Yeah. So take me through like how many like times doing that with the camera in your hand doing that did it take for you to actually get good video with stuff? Was it something that came right off the bat, or what was the process like?
It definitely took several years. It was a couple years of just kind of fiddling around. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I said, with like GoPros and stuff. And then once I upgraded to better cameras, then it was just kind of more along the lines of, all right, how do I actually learn how to use a camera? And then once I kind of started learning how to use the camera and all the different settings, is when it really started to pick up because, like I said, I was already engulfed in the sport, so I had a mind of where to be. Once I kind of had an idea of what my shot's going to look like without having to look down at the screen to do it, you know what I mean? That's when it started picking up because then I could kind of have an idea of what it is that I'm shooting before I shoot it, without just, like I said, hoping that it turns out all right.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. So you mentioned that you had to get to that point where you're confident about what is going on in your camera without having to actually look down and stare at it the whole time. Yeah. What are the steps to getting that confidence to do that?
Just repetition, just like everything else. I mean, every time I went and did anything, I had a camera in my hand, whether I was going on a hike, going snowboarding with my brother, or going duck hunting, whatever it is, I just had a camera. And it's all stuff that's action stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just repetition. Everything, just like football or baseball, learning to play it, you just got to do it over and over, and then it just comes to you.
Then you master it, and you go from there. That's awesome. Yeah. So when it comes to getting into bullfighting, when it comes to getting into everything that you were doing, what did you think was the hardest part of doing video there? Because that's obviously a really tough spot to do video.
No, honestly, it was the toughest thing was getting confident enough in myself in the sport that I was doing, to carry a $4,000 camera in there. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, I was kind of either one, I was gonna miss my job fighting bulls because I was focused on the camera, or two, I was gonna screw up the camera because I took a hooking that I didn't need to take fighting bulls. So it was just, I don't know. I was already good at fighting bulls before I picked up a camera and decided to start trying to do it.
Yeah.
But when you got $4,000 riding on the line in your hand, it makes you a little more hesitant about it. Yeah. So just kind of getting, like I said, confidence in what it is that you're doing. So like right back to where we started with knowing what it is that you're doing and having the skill level to keep up with what you're trying to video.
So maybe outside of video now, Brooks, have you done any like action photography before?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, pretty much just video for me.
Cool. Yeah. So let's kind of get more technical then for video. So for your shooting video for these kind of things, what are the main like white balance and contrast, stuff like that? What's the main things that you need to focus on if you're a young videographer?
Well, for sports, a lot of times you want like a high frame rate. So you can slow it down in post if you want, because that's how you really highlight what subject or sport it is that you're showing. Like with bullfighting, nobody really understands what's going into that while it's happening. It's happening so fast, it just looks like a big dusty mess.
Yeah.
So if you can slow that down and show them the bits and pieces that look like artwork, then it's a whole nother ballgame.
Gotcha.
Same thing, like that started with like skateboarding videos. Like you just see some dude skating around town doing tricks. It looks like he's just flicking a piece of wood around. But as soon as you put a camera in front of it and slow it down, it's like, oh man, that takes some skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's starting with high frame rate, and then after that would be like kind of more like what field of view you're trying to get. Again, and that's going to depend on what it is you're shooting.
Yeah.
If you're shooting sports, you're going to need a long lens, something like football or baseball. Whereas skateboarding, snowboarding, stuff like that, most of them guys that are doing like follow along shots or something like that, they're keeping it nice and wide and staying just really close with them.
Gotcha.
Because you're actually in the action. It doesn't look static. It just looks hectic, which is really cool to the viewer most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then along those lines, everything else, contrast and white balance. I mean, white balance, you got to try to get right for sure. It's something I've learned a lot working here at Wake Up.
Yeah.
As compared to like some of my early rodeo videos that the white balance was all jacked up on.
Yeah.
And then, but like contrast and stuff, that's all personal taste. So once you learn what you like your footage to look like, that's when you learn to play with the contrast and saturation and stuff like that to kind of get the exact feel for the video that you're looking for.
Awesome. Do you think you need a really expensive camera to make good shots?
Nope. Like I said, you could start with a GoPro. You can start with an iPhone. Whatever it is that you're videoing, if you can get in there close and tight with it and you're not scared of breaking it, go for it. Like, I mean, they always say the best camera you've got is the best camera, or the best camera you got is the camera you got on you. So even if it is your iPhone, I mean, these new iPhones now shoot just insane video. And you can take an iPhone anywhere with you, whether you're fighting bulls or videoing a skateboarder, you can get it anywhere.
Yeah.
So no, you don't need an expensive rig or nothing at all. You can do it with the stuff you got right on hand.
Cool. So are there a lot of like bullfighters and bull riders that are trying to do video while they're doing stuff, or were you kind of revolutionary in that when you were doing that?
No, I think I kind of was the first one to start really doing it.
Yeah.
Like with an actual camera in my hand. Honestly, I'm still probably the only one that does it.
Yeah.
Not that I do it anymore, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. There's a couple other bullfighters that did kind of get into the realm of video. One of which is just really good. My buddy Colt Oder, he's just phenomenal with video.
Yeah.
Another guy, Randy Kateri. He's kind of like the pioneer of all the rodeo video stuff. Like
cool.
He just kind of put me and my buddy Colt Oder, both of us onto it. And yeah, they're both really good. So, but again, they also don't take one into the arena with them.
Yeah. They just set up on the side.
Yeah. But they've been engulfed in the sport enough to know what it is that's happening and where they know where a bull rider is going to hit the ground.
Wow.
So they know where the bullfighter is going to be to save him.
Yeah.
Like they're reading the situation just like he is. So they're going to be there with the shot every time because they know what they're looking for. And
because they've seen the guy fall off
hundreds
and hundreds of times.
Yeah, so they don't have to run in there and do that stuff. That's just the angle I liked.
Yeah. That's just the most dangerous one. That's the one you like. What was like the reaction from people in that world whenever you were starting to show them those first videos you were making?
Oh, they all liked them from day one, even when they sucked, which blew my mind. This stock contractor I work for, the instant I started making videos, he started calling me Hollywood. Like, what's up, Hollywood? Nice. I mean, every time I walk up, and I mean, he calls me all the time. Hey, I need you to come down to my house, video my bulls, or I got this other project I'm working on, and I might need your help. It's pretty cool. That's
really cool. Yeah. So where can people see some of the videos that you've made?
You can see them on my Instagram, at Brooks_Forsythe_edits. And then my YouTube page, same thing.
Cool. Brooks Forsythe edits. Perfect. And then how do you think that skill set has really translated to what you do here at Wake Up as a videographer?
I think it kind of just gives me a different perspective on a lot of the stuff that we shoot that the other guys might not, because I kind of come at it with more like a just send it kind of an attitude.
Yeah.
Which might not always work out. I mean, Tyler would probably disagree with you for sure. But yeah, sometimes you got to just work off the fly, and I think that having something just like that works out. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Brooks. Cool. Well, I've loved seeing all the stuff you've been doing here at Wake Up Pueblo, and I'm, just super thankful you're a part of the team for sure.
I really appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
So last thing, what tips would you have if you could say something maybe to a young videographer who's maybe getting going? What's some tips do you have for them just as they're getting started? What do you want to tell them about the business or what they're doing? Like, what's some advice?
Honestly, just learn your camera. Because until you actually learn how to use the camera, whether that is just a GoPro, if you don't know how to set it up, GoPro footage looks like crap.
Sure.
So, even if it is just GoPro, you got to learn how to use a camera and then go from there. Because if you're anybody like me, you've already got the contacts you need. If you're already engulfed in the sport, you're already where you need to be.
Yeah.
So it's just about a matter of learning how to do it.
Perfect. So sweet. Well, thanks for your time, Brooks. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah, go check out some of Brooks' work here for Wake Up Pueblo. You can see it in some of our videos that we've done, as well as you can go check out Brooks Forsythe Edits on Instagram and YouTube, correct?
Yep.
Perfect. Go check him out and all those things. You have a TikTok as well, right?
Yeah, I do. I don't post to there a whole lot, but it's still the same thing, Brooks Forsythe Edits.
There you go. Boom.
Just like everything else.
You got to promote everything.
Yeah, make it easy.
If you want more advice from some of our great creators here at Wake Up Pueblo, go check out the rest of our Sincerely Creators series right here on the Wake Up Podcast. We've had Jared on there. We've had Tyler on there. We've had Chavez on there, as well as a few others, including myself, talking about what we do and a little bit more kind of how you want to get started on those things, as well as check out our episode coming out next week with Jacob Rivera talking about how to get into graphic design. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go check out Wake Up Pueblo on, all right, here comes all the things, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We've got ourselves on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Go check out everything we're doing right here at Wake Up Pueblo. Have a great rest of your day, you guys.